Todd Chrisley has revealed how broke he is post-pardon. His being broke has been a speculation that has been going around since he left prison. However, he has not spoken on the issue until now. He was honest with his fans and let them know the truth about the situation. There is a lot to unfold and uncover when it comes to this. Keep reading to find out more about this situation. Fans are getting to see the hard truths about what went on behind closed doors when Todd and Julie were in prison. The Chrisleys. Back to Reality is telling the story from the family's perspective. However, Todd and Julie did get pardoned in just enough time to be able to be on the show. Fans are getting to see their reunions and how things played out. However, they are also getting to see how hard it was on their children, friends, and family. The show is digging deeper into the story and letting fans know the ugly truth of it all. Savannah and her siblings are being extremely transparent regardless of how hard it may be. There have been rumors that Todd and Julie Chrisley are broke since being out of prison and are trying to build their incomes back up. Well, Todd has revealed that this is not true whatsoever. The interviewers mentioned that people think they are broke, to which Todd replied, "Where would they get that? Where would you get that? Do you know how much is in my bank account?" The interviewer then asked Todd if he would like to tell them how much is in his bank account. Obviously, he refused but replied, "So it seems the Chrisleys are doing fine with money." This could be a lie, but fans do not understand why he would lie when they have been transparent about everything else. It seems as though Todd and Julie Chrisley are not broke and have plenty of money to get them through. Todd would not speak about how much money they truly have. However, they do not seem to be worried about their finances. Fans find this odd since Savannah had to work a lot extra to be able to support her family and the lawyer fees. What do you think about this? Are you shocked they are not broke? Do you believe Todd? Sound off in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this. Todd Chrisley has lived a life of extremes, lavish wealth, dizzying fame, and crushing scandal. Once known as the impeccably dressed patriarch of Chrisley Knows Best, his reality TV empire symbolized luxury, humor, and the rewards of a Southern fried American dream. Yet after his stunning legal downfall, imprisonment, and eventual pardon, the curtain has pulled back on a sobering new chapter. Todd now faces the stark reality of being broke, a word that once seemed unimaginable when applied to the larger-than-life star. What does broke mean for a man whose life once revolved around private jets, designer suits, and sprawling mansions? To understand his predicament, we must journey through his past triumphs, public disgrace, and the emotional toll of rebuilding from nothing. The rise of the Chrisley empire. At the height of his fame, Todd Chrisley built an image as the master of wealth and wit. His show, Chrisley Knows Best, offered audiences a peek into the glitzy world of the Chrisley family, where Todd's quick tongue and iron-fisted control over his household became a cultural staple. The series painted him as a millionaire real estate tycoon whose lifestyle included luxury cars, ornate estates, and extravagant shopping sprees. Viewers were captivated by the mix of Southern charm and cutting sarcasm, often overlooking whispers about whether his fortune was as solid as he claimed. In the background, financial troubles brewed. Debt, tax disputes, and extravagant spending created cracks in the facade. But the momentum of fame kept those truths at bay, at least for a time. The fall from grace. The turning point arrived with federal charges of bank fraud and tax evasion. The Chrisleys, once synonymous with opulence, found themselves thrust into a legal circus. For years, the public consumed headlines about false loan applications, unpaid taxes, and a carefully crafted image of wealth that prosecutors argued was built on deception. Todd and his wife Julie eventually received harsh prison sentences. The image of Todd, no longer the polished showman, but a humbled inmate, stunned fans and critics alike. The empire crumbled. Reality shows were canceled. Endorsement deals evaporated. And the once invincible patriarch was stripped of his financial and social armor. For a man who defined himself through wealth and control, the loss was devastating. The unexpected pardon then came a twist no one anticipated. a presidential pardon. Political speculation surrounded the decision, but for Todd, it meant freedom years earlier than expected. Yet, freedom did not come with a return to the life he once knew. Instead, he emerged to find a financial desert where there had once been an empire. Properties were seized, accounts drained, and opportunities dried up. The very word broke became his. Not symbolic broke, not a pared-down version of wealth, but the kind of broke that forces even the proudest man to reevaluate survival itself. Life after the fall post-pardon, Todd faced a world that had moved on. The television spotlight no longer glowed as brightly. Networks were cautious, fans were divided, and creditors were relentless. For someone who once believed money solved everything, the absence of it created a haunting emptiness. Without mansions and luxury cars to define him, Todd had to confront the question, who am I without wealth? The financial strain reshaped his daily existence. No more designer wardrobes or glittering galas. His wardrobe was simplified, his meals modest, and his priorities reduced to essentials. Where his life once revolved around projecting superiority, it now centered on survival. The meaning of broke. When Todd describes himself as broke, it is more than a number in a bank account. It is the crushing weight of debt, the lingering shadow of court fees, and the knowledge that years of empire building dissolved into dust. Broke means facing humiliation after decades of branding oneself as untouchable. Yet, broke also carries a symbolic meaning for Todd. It is not just financial ruin. It is a stripping away of illusions. The carefully curated identity of wealth and invincibility has shattered. What remains is a man forced to confront vulnerability he once mocked in others. The emotional toll poverty does not simply wound finances, it bruises pride. For Todd, whose persona thrived on control, dignity, and appearances, acknowledging brokenness was akin to tearing down the very foundation of his character. Behind closed doors, the emotional toll has been immense. Nights of worry about bills, fears of irrelevance, and guilt over dragging his family through public scandal weigh heavily. For all his bravado, Todd has discovered that the emotional cost of being broke can dwarf even the monetary loss. His children, once accustomed to reality TV fame and its perks, now grapple with the fallout. Relationships are strained. Trust is fragile. The Chrisley family that once laughed its way through scripted chaos now wrestles with unscripted pain. The public's mixed reaction audiences remain divided. Some relish his downfall, seeing it as justice for arrogance and deception. Others sympathize, arguing that no one deserves to lose everything, especially after serving time. In the age of social media, opinions about Todd's new reality spread quickly. Memes mock his brokenness, while fan pages share words of encouragement. Todd's name remains relevant, but rarely for the reasons he once desired. Attempts to rebuild even in ruin, Todd Chrisley is not without ambition. The instinct to rebuild runs deep. Efforts to write books, launch podcasts, or even pitch new television ideas have emerged, though with mixed success. Networks hesitate to embrace him, wary of controversy. Investors demand proof of stability. Still, Todd leans on what he knows best: storytelling. He attempts to transform his downfall into a narrative of redemption. Broke, yes, but not defeated. Disgraced, but still present. His charm, though weathered, remains a tool. In interviews and appearances, he paints himself as a man who has learned humility through hardship. Whether audiences believe it is another matter. Redefining wealth. One of the unexpected lessons Todd has faced is the redefinition of wealth. Once measured in bank accounts and possessions, wealth now takes the form of intangible blessings, freedom from prison, moments with family, and opportunities to start over. While critics dismiss these reflections as rehearsed, there is a raw truth in the reality that money no longer defines him. For the first time in decades, Todd has been forced to look beyond material success to measure his worth. The road ahead, the path forward, is uncertain. Financial recovery for someone with Todd's history is steep. Debts linger. Opportunities remain scarce. The Chrisley brand is tainted. Yet, if history proves anything, it is that Todd thrives on reinvention. He has walked through fire before, though never this intense. Whether he can transform brokenness into a new chapter of relevance remains to be seen. Fans speculate. Will he return to television as a cautionary tale? Will he write a tell-all exposing behind-the-scenes secrets of fame and downfall? Or will he quietly fade into obscurity, a man who once flew too close to the sun? A cautionary tale. Todd Chrisley's journey is more than celebrity gossip. It is a cautionary tale about the fragility of wealth and fame. It reminds the public how quickly fortunes can evaporate, how illusions of success can mask crumbling foundations, and how even those who seem invincible can face ruin.